Can you believe that one summer of towering home runs and curtain calls helped bring baseball back from the brink, only to later become a symbol of one of the sport's most troubling eras? The 1998 Major League Baseball home run record chase wasn't about numbers on a scoreboard. It was about redemption, excitement, television ratings, and childhood wonder, all to eventually come and bring about controversy. To understand why that this season is still sparks debate decades later, you have to begin with baseball's lowest point. In 1994, Major League Baseball went through a strike. It brought baseball to a standstill. The World Series was canceled for the first time in 90 years. Fans were furious. Many felt betrayed by owners and players alike. Attendance dropped, television ratings sagged. The sport that called itself America's pastime suddenly fell into disconnect from the country. By the mid 1990s, Major League Baseball desperately needed something positive, something thrilling enough to bring fans back to this boring game that lost its fan base, as many was calling it. That something arrived in 1998. The record everyone was watching belonged to Roger Maris, who hit 61 home runs in 1961. For 37 years, that number stood untouched, sacred in baseball history. Then came two powerful hitters who wanted to bring excitement to the summer of 1998. That would be Mark McGwire of the St. Louis Cardinals and Sammy Sosa of the Chicago Cubs. From opening day, both players began hitting home runs at a breathtaking pace. What made the chase magical wasn't just the distance of the blasts, it was the back and forth drama. One night, McGuire would pull ahead, the next, Sosa would respond. Scoreboards across the country began tracking their totals. On every sports channel like ESPN, they would be showcasing their home runs. Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, back and forth, with other big league sluggers hitting home runs as well. Excitement was back into the game. By the late summer, the entire nation would be watching these two chase. But on September 8th, 1998, Mark McGuire would hit number 62, officially breaking Maris's long-standing record. The moment was electric. Teammates flooded the field. His family embraced him at home plate. Even Sosa ran in from right field to congratulate him. It felt bigger than baseball. It felt like healing. By the season's end, Sosa finished with 66 home runs, and McGuire would finish with 70. For the first time in years, baseball dominated national headlines for joyful reasons. No longer was it a struggling game. No longer was it considered boring. No longer were people not tuning in. Everyone wanted to see the long ball. The home run became alive in the late 90s, all because of this 1998 season. The impact was immediate. Ballparks filled again, television ratings climbed, kids collected baseball cards with renewed excitement. The sport felt alive once again. After the bitterness of the 1994 season, fans had something simple, a pure race between two players, two personalities, the quiet McGuire and the exciting Sammy Sosa, who both had mutual respect for one another. It was a feel good narrative, but on top of that, all the other players started developing their own personalities, their own brands. You had Roger Clemens throwing the mid to high 90s on the mound. You had players like Randy Johnson dominating on the mound as well. Gary Sheffield pimping out home runs, as well as other players all around the league, showcasing their skills, their abilities, and showcasing that baseball was back once again. It was a time before social media. Everyone seemed fragmented in the country after the 94 baseball season. They wanted excitement again to baseball, and the MLB made its full recovery during the 1998 season. It was known as the season that saved baseball forever. Though a little dramatic, it's undeniable that this home run race, that this showcased new players, youth in the league, it showed that the long ball was back. It showed that baseball could survive, at least for a little bit. Though, from the outside, the 1998 season was exciting for fans who watched, there began whispers circulating around the press and locker rooms about performance enhancing drugs. But MLB had no serious testing program in place during this time. The culture of the game often looked the other way during this time period. As the early 2000s unfolded, home run totals across the league exploded, and in 2001, Barry Bonds would hit 73 home runs, breaking Mark McGwire's new record. Soon, investigations and media reports began connecting many stars to the era of steroid use. In 2007, the bombshell came out, the Mitchell Report, a detailed, widespread performance enhancing drug use throughout the league. It painted a troubling picture. Steroids were not just isolated to one or two players, they were part of the broader culture of Major League Baseball. McGwire even eventually admitted to his use of steroids during his career, including the 1998 season. Sosa has denied knowingly taking them over the years, but his name appeared in various reports. The feel good story of 1998 from The Outsider in now the late 2000s and into the 2020s seems a lot more complicated. The 1998 season was something that brought the country together and it renewed excitement into the national America's pastime game. But it created a shadow. It created the shadow known as the steroid era that many fans still talk about to this day. It's the reason that many of your favorite players are not in the Hall of Fame. Players like Roger Clemens, players like Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. Though there was differences and noticeable differences in many of these players' games when they started taking steroids versus when they didn't take steroids, it's apparent that steroids helped bring back baseball in the late 90s, but it's also casted a dark cloud. Let us know your thoughts below. Should these players be in the Hall of Fame? Do you remember the 1998 season? We'd like to hear from all of you. Thank you. Believable Truths.